This next segment will be our last announcement.
There we go. This is it.
You.
I'm gonna cry.
Joe. We both had the same reaction.
Fighting in order to live.
That's not Zelda.
Not Link.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on another steaming hot edition of Cup of Joe's. I am your host, Joe Brown, joined by my best friend, Joe Perrion. And Joe, I was going to ask how your day is going, but obviously it's great because we just had a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't even phone it in for the intro, you know?
Ain't gonna lie to our listeners, bud. Can't do it to
Okay. Listen, there were some exciting moments. You cannot deny that.
The most excitement that I had was watching you get excited, my buddy.
That's pretty accurate, I guess. Well, you didn't pop off for Wii Sports volleyball, okay? Come on.
No, you didn't even do it for Wii Sports volleyball.
I know, that was the one sport I was like, nah, I'm good. Give me badminton, give me bowling, give me golf, fine. But volleyball, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, we are going on this episode of Cup of Joe's. We are going to recap the recent Nintendo Direct. That was roughly 40 minutes long. Had a lot of good stuff. Some things that were missing, obviously, which is to be expected. They did tell us that this Direct would be focusing mainly on things that were in the first half of 2022. So obviously things like the Breath of the Wild sequel, or if there was a Mario Odyssey 2 announcement or something like that, that wouldn't be until the fall window. So we probably won't see that till around E3 or something. But Joe, are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into it.
All right,
I'm ready to talk about these interesting games.
So the first thing, they start the Direct off with a new Fire Emblem game, and people have been clamoring for one for years now, ever since Three Houses came out, which was the summer of 2019, I believe, was when Three Houses came out. So it's been a while, and a lot of the rumors going around were that I think this year is the 25th anniversary of Fire Emblem 4 on the Super Nintendo, which never got a release outside of Japan. So people were just like putting two and two together, assuming that that would be the game. But we got a Fire Emblem game, Joe, but it was not what we were expecting. It was not a new numbered series or a remaster or anything. It's Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, which is like the Dynasty Warriors games, you know, like the Hyrule Warriors and the original Fire Emblem Warriors from a couple of years ago, but with the Three Houses characters now. So I'm a little torn on this because, you know, I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, and I wanted a new Fire Emblem game, and this is technically a new Fire Emblem game, but it's like a spin-off side series thing, which I love. The first Fire Emblem Warriors. I put like 85 hours into that game. So I'm sure I'm going to love this too, but it's just like, you get why I'm saying I'm torn? It's like, I'm happy there's new Fire Emblem, but it's not the Fire Emblem I wanted.
Yeah, it was kind of like when Hyrule, was it Hyrule Warriors came out? It was like another Zelda game, but it wasn't the Zelda game that we wanted at the time, because we wanted Breath of the Wild. But I understand what you're talking about. It looks interesting, but isn't Fire Emblem more like turn-based type of play?
Right.
Like turn-based.
So that's that's what helped, or that's the melding. That's like the design idea between Fire Emblem and Dynasty Warriors here is Fire Emblem's a turn-based RPG, and Dynasty Warriors is action-packed, like keep attacking thousands of people at once. So what they do, which is actually pretty intuitive, in Fire Emblem Warriors compared to the other Dynasty Warriors games, is it is not turn-based, but there are different objectives that you need to choose. You need to swap between your units to cover different areas. Like, you have to attack this castle before this other part opens up. So you need to have multiple characters around, and you have to swap between them and stuff, instead of just like being one person, like just being Link and mowing everybody down throughout the whole map. Like, you have to actually strategically place what units you want in the certain spots and stuff. So there is actually some like detail and some thought you actually have to put into your team, which does represent the turn-based aspect of Fire Emblem, even though it is like full action.
Yeah, that makes sense. But is it something you are you interested in getting it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Three Houses isn't my favorite of the series of games. I did enjoy it a lot. I do wonder what other characters, besides obviously we've seen Byleth and then the Three House leaders. I wonder what other characters from Three Houses are going to be in it. And the other thing I wonder is if there are going to be other Fire Emblem games represented, because the thing with the first game, how it got, like, quote unquote, got away with having like Marth and Lucina and the Fates characters like Corrin and stuff all in one universe, is like they were transported from their own world into that world. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's how they get, like, that's the like workaround to it, is like they went to this fantasy universe and all got transported there and had to get back to their original universes. So for this one, if Fire Emblem 3 Hopes is just in the Three Houses world, then like you can't really have like Roy and the Fire Emblem 6 characters come in, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because that was the other thing that people wanted, if there was ever going to be a Fire Emblem Warriors sequel, because it's been a while. I think that was in the first year of the Switch is when Warriors came out. Was what people wanted was, it's either the first or second year, whatever. They wanted the next Fire Emblem Warriors game, because that game, the first one represented Marth's story, which is FE1 and 3, Lucina and Awakening, which is 13, and then Fates, which is 14. So those are like more of the newer ones, and then Marth is obviously the most popular character. So they wanted the next one to have other ones, like Roy is FE6 and Ike is FE9, was it 8 and 9? Like, so have like just keep representing other, pillars of the franchise in different games. So I wonder if there will be any crossovers, or if it's just going to be the Three Houses characters, which will be a bit of a letdown to me.
If they don't do a crossover.
Yeah, because they set the bar so high with having three game franchises in the first one, to then now the sequels are supposed to be bigger and better, right? And then it's just going to focus on one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm for sure purchasing it, and I'm for sure dropping 60 hours at least into it. The same as, the original Hyrule Warriors, and then Age of Calamity, and then Fire Emblem Warriors. Like, I love these Nintendo crossover Dynasty Warrior games. I sink a lot of hours into them. Yeah,
you are a big fan of most of these types of games. I've never really gotten into them myself. I think I played like one of them, and it isn't really for me. But yeah. It does look interesting and looks exciting, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it when it comes out. Yeah, and I don't even play the other Dynasty Warriors games, like the original ones. Like, I've only ever played crossover with. I played a Gundam Dynasty Warrior crossover, but I never actually played any of the originals. So yeah, you played the Zelda one too, right?
Yeah, I played both of them. Yeah. So hold on, my screen is frozen in the moment, but I know the next game we're talking about, Joe, and that is Mario Strikers. So I know our producer Chris Schnabel and I, were very excited in this moment. Did you see this part of the trailer, Joe?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And so what were you thinking when you saw Mario Strikers?
I've actually never played or seen this game before until now.
You didn't play it on the GameCube?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, wow. You missed out, man.
Yeah. So tell me about it. Like, why were you guys so hyped about this game?
Okay. So Mario Strikers obviously was a sports game back in the day. And Shab and I even called it going into the direct today. I was like, all right, this is the first half of the year. We're going to get a Mario sports game. Mario sports games come out in June every year. Like I just called it. And we were exactly right on it. And so with the kick, get it? The interesting appeal of Strikers is it's like hardcore soccer. It's not just like FIFA where you're correctly playing and realistically playing soccer. Like, Mario will like kick people in the face to get the ball away, and like Bowser will like chuck the ball and like cheat and actually throw it when you're not supposed to have a handball in soccer, right? So that's the appeal. It's like a hardcore soccer game that's more cartoony and more fun. So Shab and I were very excited about this game. It looks pretty similar. Like, if you told me this was a GameCube remaster, I could believe you, just because of it's just the mechanic is so similar. Like, you have sometimes your special ability is like so strong that if you score off of it, you'll get 2 goals instead of 1. Like, that's the thing. Everyone has their own unique character trait to how they play and how they like affect the ball with their super and stuff like that. Classic Mario sports game shenanigans. But I think this game kind of gained like a lot of cultural appeal because it was kind of left in the shadows compared to all the Mario tennis games and Mario golf games and Mario Kart and things like that. Strikers has really been left behind by Nintendo, so it gave them a big cult following. And so that's why, Schnabel and I and a lot of other people are really excited for Mario Strikers Battle League this June.
That's really cool. It looks really fun. Like, especially with like they were like that one point where they're like power up your super kick while your opponents are distracted. And when they said that, I was like, I feel like people are going to be like, oh, that dude's powering up, we got to get him or whatever. I feel like there wasn't going to be a time where everybody was distracted by someone not kicking the ball. But at the same time, the screen can be pretty distracting like with all the characters running around and stuff.
Yes, especially if you do have 8 players, because you can have up to 8 real life players in one game in the 5v5 match.
It can be online and local, so you can have 8 players playing on one Switch at one time. Which, to be completely honest with you, when I played Smash, we had with my friends once, and we had 8 players, and we played it. It was the most confusing thing ever because there were so many of us that we were just like. We're like, oh, let's maybe go down to like 6 or like 5. There's just way too much happening. But maybe it'll work out better for this because it's like it's supposed to be like a soccer game and the camera's a little more zoomed out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, Joe. It's a good fun. It's a Mario sports game. You know what I mean? It's not going to win Game of the Year, but it's supposed to give you something fun to do over the summer.
Yeah, but you never know. It could. It could win Game of the Year. You never
Dude,
know.
Did you imagine Jeff Keighley comes out and he was like, like in the biggest surprise of Game Awards history, Mario Strikers is Game of the Year. Take that, God of War and for Horizon Forbidden West.
Forbidden West.
Everything. Yeah,
Pokemon.
It's Mario.
Legends of Arceus. It's Mario playing soccer with his friends.
I loved when we were watching it, Schnabel pointed it out. He was like Donkey Kong with the clear handball, like in the moment. And I was like, well, Donkey Kong can't read, so he didn't read the rules. It says you can't use your hands.
I heard you say that. I was like, but they could definitely be like yo, don't touch the ball with your hand. And he could be like, okay, yeah, I can't read, but I can understand that.
He's like that King of the Hill meme where it's like, if those kids could read, they'd be really mad at you. You know that one?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If that gorilla could read, he'd be really mad.
If those kids could read, they'd be real upset right now.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on because I do have to eventually get to some curling here. So, Splatoon 3 debuts Salmon Run next wave and gets a release window. So, if you don't remember, Splatoon 2 added the Salmon Run, which was kind of like a timed weekly event that was kind of like a zombies or horde mode in a traditional shooter, right? Like you start off, you have a group of 4 people and you start off with small waves and it gets harder and harder and faster and more difficult the longer it goes on. So this was a huge success in Splatoon 2 because it was a co-op competitive shooting game aspect of Splatoon you can play with your friends without having to go online and get stomped by other people with your friends. You know what I mean? Like it was just all for funs of good vibes with your friends. Even though it was tough, it wasn't like you weren't getting destroyed by the sniper in PvP mode. So I can see why they showed this off because it was such a big aspect of Splatoon 2. And more importantly for me, because I'm not a Salmon Run guy, I know Schnabel isn't either, and he's a big Splatoon guy. But more importantly, it comes out this summer, which is really exciting because I know a lot of people are super excited for Splatoon 3.
Splatoon. I've never really played that game either, but Splatoon. Let's shoot some fish.
It's fun.
I know you're telling me it, but you don't really even play it that much, do you?
No, I played a lot of Splatoon 1, but then Splatoon 2, I just didn't have time, like with the Switch. Too many other things going on, you know?
Yeah, too many crazy things happening.
Yeah. So, did you just get an encounter, Joe?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Are you calling Weird Ear?
No, I'm doing... Oh, I'm calling this big bear.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Ursaluna.
Yeah. So we're not talking about the new Pokemon game yet. We will eventually, I promise, but just a little too preoccupied with the other side of the world to put enough hours into it to give it a fair review. So unless Legends Arceus starts having alpine, skiing events and curling events, I really can't pay attention to it right now.
That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
That would be cool, except instead there's fall damage, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if you've died yet from jumping, but it's an experience, Joe.
I have died from jumping.
It's just like 25 years, you can't even hop over a ledge if you hopped over it the one direction, and now you can just bolt 600 feet from the air and die. It's so good. The evolution, I love it. All right. Let's go to the next category. The next big one. We're covering the big ones here. Is Kirby is now a car. And a lot more, obviously. In the Kirby and the Forgotten Land trailer, they showed off Mouthful Mode, which is the different techniques that Kirby uses by eating things. So obviously the simplest comparison is this is like the hat abilities in Mario Odyssey, right? Which you could just say the Mario Odyssey abilities are like the Kirby eating abilities. They're like kind of intertwined like that. So they showed off a lot of different stuff like the car mouth, the vending machine mouth. Whenever you need a Dr. Pepper real quick, Kirby's gonna help you out. Cone mouth, scissor lift mouth, ring mouth, light bulb mouth, arc mouth, water balloon mouth, which looked pretty good. And there was they showed off some story stuff, yada yada. It's gonna be a fun game. It comes out March 25th. We already knew that, so this was just a little teaser to whet our appetites a little more.
Yeah, it looks fun. I did like they're like, what was it? It's called Mouthful. Was that what the new thing was called?
Yeah, Mouthful Mode.
And he's just like, if you haven't seen the trailer, you should go look at it. It pretty much just like sucks in a car and just becomes the car cover, and then the car starts driving while Kirby is just like has the entire top of the car in his mouth.
Yeah.
It looks like an interesting game, and I know Schnabel's very excited about it. Are you very excited about it, Joe?
To be honest, I'm probably not going to get it, although I do love platformers and especially a 3D. I'm a sucker for a 3D platformer, and I want to support my boy Kirby in his first 3D adventure like this, but there's just so many other things coming out, Joe. It's just not possible. Like even in like the week before Kirby comes out, we have the Persona 4 Ultimax definitive edition coming out on Switch that I have to get, the fighting game, and the Final Fantasy Stranger's Origins, where he has to kill Chaos every 4 seconds game, is also coming out in March. Like, you know what I mean? There's too much going on.
Yeah, no. Like I was gonna ask, like, what else are you getting? Because like I feel the same way. Like Pokemon came out, and then literally the week after Pokemon came out, Dying Light 2 came out, and
Right.
now next Friday, Horizon Zero Dawn comes out, and then next month Tokyo.
And Elden Ring is also in February.
Oh, Elden Ring comes out on the 24th. The Steam Deck comes out on the 25th, I think. Was it the new Tokyo game? I can't remember the name of it. It looks really cool. I've been like keeping my eye
Tokyo
on it. It comes
Ghostwire?
out. Yeah, it comes out in March. Tiny Tina's Wonderland also comes out in
Also
March.
March. Yeah, that comes out the same day as Kirby, so you're preoccupied.
Yeah, I'm preoccupied with all this other stuff. I'm only maybe like a few hours into Dying Light 2. I'm gonna probably switch over to Horizon Forbidden West when that comes out for a little bit and try to like balance them back and forth. And then I think I might just like dive into Tiny Tina's when that comes out. But I'm also gonna maybe wait a little bit for Tokyo Ghostwire to see how that one is. But
Yeah, I would wait on that one.
it looks
Now
really good though.
this is a side tangent, but you brought up the Steam Deck. Have you seen these like images and videos of people destroying their Switches with Steam Decks?
No, I haven't. That's really dumb.
It's really stupid, but like I guess anything for a like on Twitter. So people are showing off they're basically showing off the size of a Steam Deck compared to the size of a Switch, because they're both, theoretically handheld and like similar product or whatever. And then people just started like, I don't know what the trend was, but I just see it on Twitter constantly of like showing how big and how strong the Steam Deck is, not just to show the size difference, which is considerably larger than the Switch, but to show that the Steam Deck can beat up and destroy the Switch. It's like really weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's not Valve doing it. It's random ass people doing it.
It's very, very weird. I'm interested in it, but I'm also not interested in it because like I don't know, like it seems really cool and then it doesn't seem really cool at the same time. Like it seems like a waste of money, but then it doesn't seem like a waste of money. Because
Yeah.
if I can play my Steam games portably, that's really cool. But I have the Nintendo Switch and I don't really use that a lot unless I guess unless there's a game out for it, like I'm playing the Pokemon game now. But
Right.
it would kind of be cool to be able to play like Dying Light 2 portably and stuff like that, and then other random games. But you have to like get on the waiting list for it apparently. So like I can reserve one for $5, and then my friend was telling me about it. You have to like pay attention to your email because when you get the email, you have 3 days to purchase it, or they go to the next person because of how long the wait is for it.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, for the side tangent.
No, that's fine. No, well, I started the side tangent with people beating up their Switches with Steam Decks. So let's get to the next heavy hitter, which might be something you are more comfortable with, which is Portal Companion Collection. Will be coming to Nintendo Switch players soon. So why don't you talk about that one, Joe?
This seems like it's going to be a really, really cool thing to come to the Switch, to have like people play together. Like first Portal 1 is like a total single player story based game. But going on to Portal 2 is more of you can do like a co-op type play on it as well, which would be really fun. The only thing is, I can only imagine that you can't really use singular Joy-Cons to play the game. You would probably
Right.
most likely both have to have a set of Joy-Cons or two Pro controllers, or mix and match them. But it seems like it'd be pretty fun. It's a pretty fun idea. It's a little like, I don't know. I know it's some people don't have a computer to play these games, so that when the games come out, where they can actually play them, it's great. But like, it's
I was
been
gonna
like
say
a while.
it's been a decade. It took Nintendo their sweet time to get Portal. That because it's not
Yeah.
like it was it's not like it was God of War, like graphically intensive. It looks great, obviously, but it's a simply designed game. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't have taken, what are we, 5 years into the Switch for them to get Portal.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't have been this long. But maybe there's legal battles that we don't really know about and all this other stuff. So
True.
sure.
I mean,
But
I do remember like Portal 2, like playing with my friend Jeff in college was like one of the funniest and like most fun just like nights of gaming ever. You know what I mean? It's just it's so ingeniously designed and just perfect.
yeah, now you're thinking with Portals, Joe.
There we go.
Now you're thinking with Portals.
All right. Let's stop dilly-dallying, Joe. Let's stop talking about these nonsense games that don't
Let's get to the
matter in the
meat
grand
and the
scheme of things.
potatoes
Let's
of the
get
show.
to the real gamer hours here, and that is Nintendo Switch Sports, baby. It's back. Wii Sports are back. I'm still calling it Wii. I'm calling it Wii Bowling and Wii Volleyball and Wii Badminton because that's what it is, okay? It's essentially the Wii and the Me stuff back with Nintendo Switch and your Joy-Cons. So this is the successor to Wii Sports, and it contains tennis, bowling, chambara, soccer, volleyball, and badminton. Releases on April 29th and has like a public beta test from the February 18th through 20th, which is interesting. Excuse me, which is interesting because they're like trying to stress test their servers, which is just funny to think about. Like Nintendo doesn't care about Smash's servers, but they care about Wii Tennis and Wii Golf running well on the servers.
Yeah, they're like, we need to test this now. Drop everything. This is the most important thing.
And then we got to see an appearance from our boy Koizumi-san. He was playing volleyball.
He was playing the volleyball, and it was great. We loved it. We loved seeing our good vampire boy back at it again, with the shorts, with the jersey, with like a compression shirt and compression pants on underneath, and he was jumping and diving.
He was looking cute as always.
As always.
Anywho. So, what was your favorite Wii sport that, like, when you were playing with the fam or at your friend's house, like, what was the one was like, oh, we're playing this one, Joe's gonna win this one?
Bowling. I heard you talking mad trash when we were watching, but
I was trash. I was talking trash.
I was good at the bowling.
I don't think there's ever been
very good at the bowling.
I don't think there's ever been more stressful moments in my entire life than when you have gotten a strike on the first like 8 rounds of Wii bowling and the whole family's watching. That's probably the most stress I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh, baby.
Because there's a lot riding on the line in those moments, Joe. Like
I can only imagine.
Your little cousins watching, they're looking up to you. You're becoming their hero right in front of their eyes. Like your mom is what she's proud of you. She's like, this is what I brought him into the world for, to bowl a perfect 300 in Wii bowling. Like, and then you get a 9 on one round and you just hate your life and it's just all over.
All over. Dunzo. You messed it up. You're now the failure of the entire family. And you want to know? Pack your bags. You have to leave. You missed the strike. Get out of my house. I don't have a son anymore.
I don't have a son anymore. Basically, that's the stress that I would get under when I'd be at family gatherings and I'd be going for the 300. Is an indescribable feeling, but we all understand it exactly. Yeah, obviously I like bowling the most. Golf was fun too because like actually swinging the Wiimote, that was like a novel concept back then. That was fun, which is just a pain now to do. But the other one was basketball because you'd always have to like fling it with your hand, and you can't see me. I'm flinging right now with the like visually, but like you had to hold it. And like you just felt like you were just like the swaggest 3-point shooter. You know what I mean? Like we did the 3-point contest. Like it was such a cool feeling. I like that. I like basketball a lot too.
I don't think I played the basketball one. I only had the base Wii Sports game. I don't think basketball was in that, was it?
It might have been the expansion. Yeah, it might have been the resort pass or
yeah, I think
whatever.
It might have been in the resort pass. But looks pretty good. They changed up the way you look, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, finally.
Looks good. Looks exciting. Looks like you could throw them bowling balls in a good spin.
I can't wait to mess you up in badminton. Oh, you're gonna cry.
We'll see about that.
Okay, anyway.
Get ready to be taken down, Joseph.
You know what's great about this next game is we actually had a great discussion on it a couple of weeks ago of what the future of Mario Kart was going to be, and like why are they making Mario Kart 9 when there's like 60 million copies of Mario Kart 8 out there in the world? Like it's the most successful selling franchise. Like they're kind of cutting their knees off or whatever. And Nintendo listened in the last 2 weeks. They really listened. Them and Shabo are the only people that listen to our show, and they realize, hey, it does make more sense to just use the massive player base that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and you're going to have the booster course pass, which I am super excited about. 48 new courses added to Mario Kart 8, and it will only cost $25, or it'll be included in the Switch Online expansion pass thingy that has like that Animal Crossing thing and all that extra stuff. So this was like, besides Fire Emblem, probably like my hypest announcement of the direct.
Was that the hypest? Was that your?
Well, you know me, Joe. I love Mario Kart 8. It's one of my top 10 games of all time.
It is one of your top 10 games of all time. You did
I legitimately put like 300 hours of it on the Wii.
Proud of you. I've never been more proud of you in my life.
I don't know if you're taking my stance serious enough. Of the two of us, which Joe on the call right now held the world record for Baby Park time trials? I'm trying to remember which one that was. That's right. It was me. I was the world record holder in time trials on Baby Park. No big deal.
For how long?
Hey, when you reach the mountaintop, does it really matter how long you were there?
Answer the question. How long?
I don't know is the answer. What I do know is the people that passed me were these Japanese accounts that were cheaters, and I'm not making it up. You can watch the ghost run of how they do it, and they essentially hacked their game to, while they were on grass, still being full speed and not getting slowed down by it. So they could, save time on everybody else. So for example, I'd have to go back and look. I know I posted it on an old YouTube channel back in the day. Like, let's say my world record was like 1 minute and 7 seconds or something like that, right? I'm just making it up. There were 10 Japanese players that had passed my world record score, all with the exact same 1 minute and 2 second record. So like the odds that 10 people would pass the world record by 6 seconds, and it was all the exact same score, and they all were using full speed while on grass. You know what I'm saying, Joe?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, bro. I get what you're saying.
Because if they were that fast, how was nobody a minute 6, a minute 5, a minute 4? They were all 6 seconds faster than any other recorded speed possible.
What was your recorded speed again?
It was like 107 or something like that. I can't remember. I'd have to pull it up.
But you did it. You got there.
So yeah. Now, if you ever question my allegiance to Mario Kart 8, just remember I was the world record holder for Baby Park. No big deal.
I was never questioning it. But okay, yes.
So, what do you think about this booster course pass? $25 for 48 courses. The original game didn't even have 48 courses, and it cost $60. It wasn't until the DLC that they got to 48 courses.
I think it's pretty good. It's a steal, as you said earlier. It's gonna take you all the way. It looks like a good move.
Are you gonna play it?
I don't own the game, so no.
Wow. You just come right out and just do me a favor, Joe. When I turn around, take the knife out of my back, all right?
Okay. How about this? I will play this game when you finally play Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Okay, we can actually talk about this off air. So that is actually a doable thing going forward. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. I promise. The last big announcement, which neither Joe or I played, but it is actually a huge deal for Nintendo, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was finally confirmed, coming out September 22nd. Last time I checked, September is not the first half of the year, Nintendo, so you lied to us. But anyway, it is a big deal because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was actually a massive hit for them. I think it sold over 3 million copies. Now you have Pyra and Mithra in Smash Ultimate as well, right? So it's become the way that Splatoon became a staple Nintendo franchise. Like now, Xenoblade is a big selling point for Nintendo. So I know, like one of my friends, Brian, is a big Xenoblade fan. So I'm really happy for him that he gets a new one. I've never played any of the Xenoblade games, but this is still a massive W for Nintendo.
Yeah, it is a very big W for Nintendo. I've never really played any of those games either. I think you were like saying something to me and you were like, oh yeah, it used to be this. And then they changed to this because, it got popular. And I was like, oh, I thought you were just making a joke. But, yeah, it seems like a very big deal for the people who do play that game. And it shows that Nintendo's still pumping out them sequels. You know what I'm saying? Those expansions. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now,
and there's more waifus, which really that's the point,
I guess
I'm not joking. That's actually like a big aspect of it is, You ever see Pyra and Mithra, Joe? I mean,
yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him. I've definitely seen him.
That's what I'm saying. It's a selling point in that community.
There you go. Well, going on from that being their last big announcement, there were several smaller announcements that they made.
Yeah, so let's cover. How do you want to do this, Joe? I don't think we need to touch everything. Let's just. What were some of these everything else category things that you were interested in?
Well, the Force Unleashed is an interesting one. Same thing with Assassin's Creed. Then the what was the other one? Where is it? The Demon Slayer game.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't really been a No Man's Sky player, so it didn't really hit me, but that was interesting too. But those are the ones I just listed were pretty like big for what I'm interested in. And the what is it? The Taiko no Tatsuji Rhythm Festival.
Yeah, you were actually pumped for that one.
I was pumped for that one because that game looked real cool, but I want the controller, and they didn't talk about where to get the controller, so I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Well, I think you're missing the big one, which is Disney Speedstorm. Yeah, we're getting a Disney kart rider, okay? Which I was excited about.
I definitely don't think I'm missing it.
You don't want to play as Donald Duck driving a car? Come on.
purposefully did not include it in my list
Listen,
because I was not
Mulan's
impressed.
gonna take her Lamborghini back to ancient China, and they're all gonna be really impressed with her. Okay.
Okay. If you say so.
Anyway, I was excited at first for Disney Speedstorm, but then I remembered that I've already sworn allegiance to Chocobo Racing. If you remember that announcement last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I can't be a traitor now. I have to Chocobo Grand Prix or something like that. I don't even remember what it is. I'm excited to be racing as a little Chocobo. It'd be adorable. So sorry, Mickey Mouse, you lost out to a Chocobo.
Well, it's fair.
Some
it's
of
a
the
fair
other
thing to lose out to.
So
Just saying.
Chrono Cross is getting a remaster, which is big because that's the sequel, air quote sequel to Chrono Trigger, or it is related, but it's like not really. It's too much to get into, Joe. Don't worry about it. But that's a big deal that Chrono Cross is getting a remaster April 7th, and then finally, Joe, after 15 plus years, Nintendo is getting the show. MLB The Show 22 is coming to the Switch. Yes, it's going to look like it's from 2007. I don't care. It makes it more accessible. The more people that can play baseball games is good, so you can actually grow baseball fans because there only being one baseball game only available on Sony for the last decade has absolutely hindered the popularity of the sport because there aren't 8-year-olds who don't have PS4s or PS5s who can get into baseball like that. So this is actually a huge deal. And it's got Shohei Ohtani on the cover, who's, essentially the biggest name in the sport right now. So this is just a huge moment for baseball fans in general, that the show has finally gone cross-platform with Xbox and with the Switch this year.
Yeah, I'm about it. That sounds great. It's great to open up the platform to more people so more people can access the game, like as you were saying, and get into playing that baseball. You know what I'm saying?
You know what game Joe was really excited for?
Oh God.
It's got the greatest title you could ever think of. Like the marketing firm, like they must have got a raise
yeah,
when they came up with
they
this
definitely
title.
did.
So Triangle Strategy got a new demo that lets you play through the third chapter of the game and carry over progress to the final release. I'm really happy for Triangle Strategy. Too bad it doesn't have a real title for a game, and then people who are going to look on the Nintendo eShop are going to think it's just shovelware, like half of the games that are on the eShop anyway. So people aren't going to pick it up unless you played Octopath Traveler, which was a very popular game and it's very successful despite its atrocious name. And so if you played that, you'll play Triangle Strategy. But to the layman, to the common man, Joe, this is you got to do better, Square. You got to figure out a more convincing name than Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, they do need to do better with those games. They have literally just been, they're really like, yeah, this game is currently known as Project Octopath Traveler, but we're definitely going to change the name later. And then they're like, oh, this is just their game, Octopath Traveler. They just removed it.
They got rid of Project.
Remember I think they did the same thing with this. They called it like Project Triangle.
Yep, correct.
And then they changed it to this.
They did the same marketing thing of letting you play a couple of chapters as demos before it released and let you carry on. It's the exact same marketing strategy and the same dunce at Square that came up with the title, I'm betting. The same dude. They're like, hey, it worked out in spite of the name last time. Give us another spicy one. He was like, oh, what is this? It's a strategy game, and it's like shaped like a triangle strategy. Boom. Sell it. 2 million copies. Boom. Done.
Dunzo. Got it. Thank you.
And then we'll end on this last one because we have to, Joe, because it's Metroid Dread. Just a little snippet. People are like, oh, you're going to get DLC or you're going to get all these, like, maybe we get like a different, story mission or whatever. No, just a little tease, a new one-hit Dread mode where it's a game over if you ever get hit, even by the littlest thing, which I'm going absolutely nowhere near that mode because that will be infuriating. And then a more accessible rookie mode which is really cool because, one of the complaints was like people either through inaccessibility, disability aspects or whatever, that couldn't enjoy Metroid Dread because it's a very intensive game with a lot of buttons you got to press. Like your hand starts to cramp up because there's so much you got to do. So introducing the rookie mode is a nice accessibility option for people who want to play Metroid who can't, potentially might not physically be able to.
Yeah, it like gets you into the puts your foot in the door so you can actually get into play it and not have to be so infuriated by the difficulty of the game itself.
Right.
They should probably do that. Go ahead.
And then in April, they're adding a boss rush mode, which actually could be pretty cool. And maybe that's when I get into the speed run, Joe, because what's been hindering me is not wanting to like run through the game and like keep dying to bosses and like not having, I got to wait another 30 minutes to get back to this boss again. Like, so if they have the boss rush mode, you can essentially practice all of the bosses continually to get better at those fights,
Yeah, definitely.
So
sounds like a good move.
Overall, as we wrap up here, what are your thoughts? Like, this was a 40-minute direct. There's no Zelda. There's no Mario. I don't think we were really expecting it, so I'm not going to hold it against them. But, like, what were your overall thoughts of this direct?
It's pretty good. There was a lot of things that they discussed, and there was a lot of things they showed. So it was a pretty good direct.
Yeah, I think overall I pretty much agree with you. Like, am I bummed that it's Fire Emblem Warriors instead of a new Fire Emblem game? Yes, but we got a new Mario Strikers. We got the, what's it called? The Wii Sports or Nintendo Switch Sports. Like, we got Mario Kart 8 and 48 new courses. Like, there was a lot in this direct that even though it didn't give us the big thing we wanted, it gave us a lot of, great snacks to nibble on as we wait for presumably E3 with, the Breath of the Wild trailer and release date launch or announcement.
Yeah, it's they did give us a lot. So I'm hoping that we get something for Zelda soon though. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think I think this guarantees we're getting a Zelda themed E3 by it not being here right now.
Yeah. I was hoping it for before it, so they can maybe expand on it, but I really hope it doesn't get pushed back to 2023. But if it does, it's not that big of a deal. I really, especially in the gaming community now, with all the things that have been happening in the past few years, I really want to start normalizing allowing developers to finish their games and not forcing them to drop them out because of how many games get like released and they're not even completely finished. Like, right. Let's normalize.
Well, Nintendo is usually pretty good at that, Like, Breath of the Wild was delayed and stuff. Like,
I just don't want them to also fall into the pressure of all the things that have been going on too. So,
yeah, I feel you. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, Joe, why are you waiting till Breath of the Wild 2 comes out or worrying when it's going to come out when you'll just be too busy playing Triangle Strategy the whole time anyway to care?
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't even worry.
You'll be more than satisfied waiting.
I am way too busy.
Oh, we have so many games, Joe. How are we even going to cover all of these games that are coming out?
I don't know. We still got to cover Dying Light 2. We got to cover Pokemon, and then we got to cover the new Horizon game.
Oh my god!
That's right.
It's gonna be a task, but if anyone can do it, it's us.
It's us. We can definitely do it. We can definitely do it.
Let's head out. On that note, Joe, I gotta go cut some curly.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on another great episode of Cup of Joe's. I have been your host, Joe Perrion, accompanied by my best friend, Joseph Brown, and we will catch you in the next episode of Cup of Joe's.